Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Kelvin Wilson of We Do Movies and Movies, Food, and Hip Hop, and I'm back with another movie review. This review is for the movie Hereditary. Now, this movie is probably one of the most talked about horror films to come out in a very long time. Some people are even calling it the closest thing to The Exorcist. The movie stars Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, and Ann Dowd. It's almost hard to really kind of explain what this movie is without going into spoiler territory. And since I'm not going to do that, all I can tell you is that it's about a family who has a couple of tragedies that happen to them. And in the span of these tragedies, there's these weird things that begin to happen. And that's all I could really say about as far as what that film is about. But I will say this: I think the film is, without a doubt, one of the best films of 2018, in my opinion. I really do think it's one of the best films of 2018. Now, first, let me just go into how I felt like Toni Collette was probably the most sensational that I've ever seen her in a movie. And Toni Collette is a fantastic actress. But I just thought that her role in this movie was absolutely amazing. You believe her, and you believe her as a mom, as this distraught mother going through the motions, going through this heartache. I thought that Gabriel Byrne was fantastic in this movie too. And majority of the time when I see Gabriel Byrne in a movie, he's kind of doing his thing, sometimes over the top a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I think that he's a great actor and he does his thing here. And Dowd again, who usually is always in a supporting role, does her thing as well. The two kids in this movie, played by Alex Wolff and Millie Shapiro, were absolutely amazing as well in this movie. Quite honestly, like I said, I think not only is this one of the best films of 2018, but I think it's one of the best horror movies so far in 2018. And remember, we hadn't seen anything yet because we're still getting the Halloween movie, and there's probably some more horror movies that's going to be coming out. But I really think that Hereditary is it's a very, very good time at the movie. You're sitting at the edge of your seat throughout the whole movie because this movie takes turns. It is a slow build, but the more it builds, the more it gets the chance to progress. That's when you're edge to your seat because you're gonna see some stuff that is going to shock the heck out of you. But here's the thing. Although Hereditary is a great movie and a great horror film, now we're getting into the topic of, is this movie on the same par as The Exorcist? When critics start saying that about a movie, it tends to it does something to me because everybody says that this movie is going to be the next Exorcist, or this movie is going to be this, or this movie is the next this. And I get it because we haven't had any horror films, mainly I think to me, besides James Wan's The Conjuring series and like the first Insidious movie and even like the Saw movies to a certain point where you can honestly say that, or like Get Out, I forgot about Get Out and Quiet Place, and you have this group of interesting takes and interesting looks at horror movies and what constitutes as horror. Like, is it all about the jump scares? Is it all about the psychos coming at you with a knife? Is it psychological? Like there's a lot of interesting looks about horror movies, and I'm glad that Hereditary is one of those interesting looks at horror movies. But do I think it's on the same level as The Exorcist? No. Do I think it's one of the great horror films that's come out in a while? Yes. Do I think that Hereditary is going to be one of those classics like a Nightmare on Elm Street or Exorcist or Friday the 13th or Halloween? Do I think it is a legendary status horror movie? No. And they said the same thing about It Follows. And I like It Follows. And I like it, like I said, I like It Follows, but I love Hereditary more than It Follows. But when these movies come out and people have this very interesting look at horror, we tend to jump the gun sometimes and say, this is going to be the next Exorcist or this is going to be the next this. And it's not. And anything doesn't have to be the next Exorcist or the next Friday the 13th. Let the movie stand on what it is. That's all. Like I said, I don't think this movie, as good as it is, I don't think this movie's going to be legendary status. I don't think it's going to be up there with those movies that I named before. But Hereditary is a fantastic movie. It's a visually stunning, crazy, good time, scary time at the movies. I really recommend that everybody see this movie. You guys tell me what you thought if you seen the movie. Hit me up on We Do Movies and Movies, Food, and Hip Hop on Facebook. And you can see all the reviews on those pages as well as my YouTube channel as well. And until then, we'll see you next time. Peace.